Ladies and gentlemen, it's Code Red. Anthony Albanese is pushing through the misinformation bill. He has given himself strategically 1 week to hear submissions and comments from the public. So if you have any comments, I've put something together very quick on tpaust.com.au. Why is he doing this? He's doing it because he is incensed by the fact that he lost the voice referendum and that he's convinced that misinformation was the difference between him winning and losing, misinformation online. So this is his ultimate revenge on the Australian people, on the people that helped the voice referendum fail last year in October, a year ago. And he is basically gunning after anyone that put out any memes online with his face on it. And he's trying to censor the internet. So a year ago, when I mentioned the fact that Albert's trying to jab the internet, vaccinate the internet, this is what I was talking about. And unfortunately, that means it is going to obstruct the work that I do for Turning Point Australia in elections. It obstructs the work that I do with regards to my podcast, the ARC podcast, which gets 1 million views a week on all the clips. And the last one is it's going to interfere with the Light Australia newspaper, which we can't have. So I've put a tool together. It's free. It allows you to add your comments to my petition that I'm submitting to Parliament on behalf of those entities. So I encourage you, share this far and wide. It's very simple. If you go to the website, tpaust.com.au, you put your name, you put your email in, you put your postcode in so we can show them which state you're actually from. And if you want to add any comments, you can add your comments. I will be adding a very thorough rebuttal to why this bill should be rejected, why we should not allow it to happen. I will also try to go to Canberra to make my comments publicly there, but we need to pull out all the stops on this. You can't sit this one out. You can't sit this one out. And I'll tell you why. This isn't just about Australia. This is about an October surprise for America. We know the Five Eyes countries spy on each other, for the different intelligence agencies. For example, when Tucker Carlson went to Russia and interviewed Putin, it wasn't an American spy network that followed him and tracked him. The intelligence agencies in the US asked the Aussie ones to spy on him, on Tucker Carlson, because the American ones couldn't, because they couldn't get around certain constitutional obstructions. So they asked the Aussie ones to. My fear is that in 5 weeks is the US election. So if this bill passes a little over a week from now, it's prime timing to put additional pressure onto free speech platforms like Rumble and X, Twitter, Elon Musk, and to try and censor exactly what's going to go down in America. You know, Trump might have another Hunter Biden-style laptop story he wants to drop, but big tech censors it because of an Australian bill. Like, this is the additional pressure they're trying to put down. Now, look, maybe I'm dead wrong about that, but that's where I see things going. But also, it's just bad for our democracy in Australia. The idea that even left-wing articles from Crikey are saying we need to oppose this. If you oppose anything from the government, whether it's big corporations that are trying to push, fossil fuels, for example, let's say you're a greenie and you oppose this legislation because you don't want the big corporates that donate to both major parties from keeping climate change going, there's your problem. If you're against Israel, for example, if you were protesting in Melbourne and you're part of those Antifa cells or even genuine people that oppose Israel, this bill could stop you from doing that. Or even if you support, Israel and you want to criticize Palestine, in the right hands, this bill could also censor you. This is like the ring of Lord of the Rings. It will censor both sides depending on who's holding it. But we've got to destroy it. Everyone's got to destroy it. And I think that's why there's a lot of synergy between a lot of left-wingers. This article from Chris Berg from Crikey, a left-wing article, quite well written in my opinion, actually. and a lot of right-wingers. All the Freedom Senators have come out against it. You can see some of the comments from the Freedom Senators in my online, if you go to tpaust.com.au, you'll see some of their comments on this bill come up. But the point is, we've got to stop this thing. It's not just about Australia, it is about the world. And Albo, in his frickin' arrogance, thinks that he can pass it. Now, it's not all hope is lost. There is a very good chance that the Greens will also oppose this. There's a very good chance, and we can actually kill the bill. So I need your help. I need you all. We've only got 1 week. On Monday is when the petition, when online submissions can be closed on the website for the government. So please head to tpaust.com.au, add your comments to my petition if you don't know how to find the website for the government submissions to this particular bill. You can add your comments to mine. I will be submitting a very thorough submission to the government on behalf of Turning Point Australia as a third-party campaigner in elections, on behalf of the podcast, the ARC podcast, which gets 1 million views a week, and on behalf of the Light Australia newspaper, which gets 200,000 prints every 2 months, because this is an existential threat. This is an existential threat to all three entities. I'm not a member of parliament. I don't have parliamentary protections for my speeches. I rely on the online, my online ability to get the word out. That's what I rely on. And the Light Australia is directly under threat because of this particular bill. Remember, part of the recourse for government with these big tech platforms is they can charge 5% of revenue if you're not properly policing misinformation. So guess who that falls on? It falls on the directors. And this is going to be, I'm the sole director of the Light Australia newspaper. So this falls directly on my leadership and on the leadership of other directors of social media companies. This has to be opposed. This must be stopped. We can't allow this bill in our Australian Parliament to pass, and it's going to fall on the Senate within the next few weeks to actually stop it. However, we've only got a week. Monday, the 30th of September, that's the last day. You guys know what you have to do. I've given you everything you need to succeed in this. Head to tpaust.com.au, make a submission there. If you want to make a submission online, head to the website for the government for this particular misinformation bill, but it's a lot easier if you head to my site and you add your comments to my site. And again, I'm not email harvesting. The default option on there is that you don't subscribe to our emails. If you want to stay in tune, then change that. But this isn't about email harvesting. This is about getting results. We have a short time frame. We need to push back on this. We need to kill this bill, and we need to send Albo back to the electorate at an election in the next 6 months so that we can beat him and change the makeup of the Senate so crap like this never passes. I'll leave it with you guys. God bless you. Thank you so much. If you want to flick us a few bucks on the website, that's really helpful. But what's important right now is we kill this bill. I'll see you guys later.